Recording begins. Ambient sound, the threshold chamber. The hum, slow and deep. Two people breathing in the dark. This is recording 20. I'm still in the chamber. The figure is still across from me. Neither of us has moved since the recording ended. I need to document what I know before I say anything else. The card upstairs read 1953 to 1959. Closed. 6 years. The name removed. I asked about the record being removed, and they confirmed it was. They didn't say how, they didn't say why. They answered in the past tense, which tells me they understand the distinction between what the record says and what actually happened to them. The record was closed. They were not. I'm going to ask the question directly. How long have you been in this chamber? Since the last convergence failed. When was that? 1959. 65 years, or something that the archive has been categorizing as 65 years. Time inside the system. I think about Hannah's ledger, the cycling hum of the second floor, the future date on the Velasquez card. Time inside the archive may not pass the way time passes outside it. But the figure's clothing is from that era. The coat, the cut of it, the way it has been worn until it belongs completely to the body wearing it. Whatever time means down here, they have been in this chamber for a very long time. I'm not going to fill the silence immediately. I'm letting that number settle. 1959. The diagram on the passage wall was drawn by someone who understood the system well enough to reduce it to a schematic. That person has been standing in this chamber since before I was born, in the same coat, with the same hands at the same position, waiting for a convergence that kept failing to arrive. The archive closed the record. The archive does not release what the record contained. The last convergence failed. What happened to the investigators? They reached the chamber, one alone. The system did not accept it. And they remained. They remained. I'm processing this carefully. Previous pairs reached this point and one failed to arrive. Arrived alone instead of together. And the system didn't complete, and the single investigator who reached the chamber didn't leave. The archive removed their record from the index upstairs, but they stayed, inside the system, in the chamber or the passages or whatever configuration the building took on in the decades between that failure and now. The worn stone, the passage floor smoothed by more foot traffic than a handful of investigators could account for. Investigators who failed the convergence, whose records were erased, who continued to move through the system anyway, still registered in the building's memory even after the index said otherwise. How many? Not a question. A prompt. Enough. I want to ask more. I want to ask for names, for timelines, for a count. The part of me that has been treating this as an investigation wants a ledger entry, a record, something to document and file and cross-reference. But the word they chose is the right word. Enough. Enough that the worn path means what it means. Enough that whatever the archive has been doing in this building spans decades of failed attempts. Enough that I don't need the number to understand the weight of it. The figure shifts slightly, not toward me, not away. A small adjustment, the first movement they've made since I entered the chamber. As if something has changed in the air, as if the system is doing something they can feel. I can feel it too. The same acceleration I noticed in the passage when the archive began reacting to two investigators moving toward the same point, but stronger now, closer to the source. What happens when two investigators reach point zero? The system resolves. What does that mean? It means the archive completes the record, the protocol closes, the node finalizes, and the investigators go through. 2 words. That's all. Go through. Through to what they didn't say. And I'm not going to ask because the answer is either something I can understand or something I can't, and neither version changes what I need to do. The protocol is the protocol. The sequence is the sequence. The archive gives you the next step when you finish the current one. I've been learning that for months. Go through is the next step. Hannah Morrison designed the handoff for this convergence. She left the letter. She left the ledger. She prepared the approach. She understood what others didn't. What did they miss? That the system is not navigated, it is completed. Previous investigators treated it as a puzzle to solve alone. They followed the sequence without understanding that the sequence requires two. They reached this point, and the second investigator was not registered. The system did not accept the convergence. She understood it is not about arriving, it is about arriving together. I'm standing in the threshold chamber of a system that has been running for longer than I've been alive, listening to someone who has been inside it for 65 years explain why every previous attempt failed. And somewhere behind me, in the passage I came through, there are footsteps. We both hear them. The figure across the chamber turns their head, the first time they've oriented toward anything other than the corridor to point zero. Listening. The footsteps are unhurried, deliberate, the pace of someone who knows exactly where they are going and has decided not to rush it. She doesn't say anything. She stands at the entrance with the flashlight held low, taking in the chamber, the central crescent, the figure across from me, and then me. Her coat is dark, her hair is pulled back. The same posture I saw in the hallway of 47 Marginal Road the night I found her ledger. Deliberate, patient, completely aware. Hannah Morrison. The hum changes again. A third presence in the chamber. The archive registering a variable it wasn't running for. 3 investigators, 3 active records, a protocol that requires 2. The pulse contracts further, the rhythm faster now. Something in the system cycling through a condition it doesn't have a clean resolution for. 3. The system expected 2. She looks at the figure across the chamber. Something passes between them. Not a word, not a gesture. Recognition, maybe. Or the acknowledgement of 2 people who have been inside the same system long enough to understand each other without language. You've been here since the last attempt. Yes. I'm sorry. The figure doesn't respond to that. They turn back toward the point zero corridor. Then they look at me. Not at Hannah. At me specifically. For the first time since I entered the chamber, I can see enough of their face to register expression. There isn't one. Not emptiness. Something beyond expression. Something that has waited long enough that expression has become unnecessary. They take one step back from the center of the chamber, then another, until they are standing against the far wall, away from the corridor to point zero. The path is clear. They are not leaving the chamber. They are removing themselves from the convergence, stepping back from the protocol, yielding, not because the system forced them to, because they understood, before Hannah arrived, before the hum changed, that 65 years of waiting does not constitute registration. The protocol requires 2 active investigators. They have been in the system too long to be active in the way the archive counts. They know this. They step back before anyone asks them to. Hannah moves to stand beside me. I'm aware of her presence, the first time we have been in the same space and acknowledged each other directly. She doesn't look at me. She's looking at the corridor to point zero. The flashlight beam extends into it, reaching further than mine, illuminating the first 10 feet of what lies beyond the threshold. Stone walls, narrowing slightly, the same worn floor, the hum at its loudest here, emanating from whatever is at the end of that corridor. Are you ready? I don't have a good answer for that. I'm going to record something honest. No. Neither was I. Point zero is a small room. Stone walls, the same as the passages leading to it. Low ceiling, no windows, no light source beyond the 2 flashlights we're carrying. The floor is flat, the stone here smoother than anywhere else in the system, worn not by foot traffic but by something else. By time, maybe. By the presence of whatever the system runs on. In the center of the floor, no crescent, no marker, the floor is unmarked. On the far wall at eye level, a single brass frame. The same type as the investigator slots on the 2nd floor, but larger. The size of a document rather than a card. Inside the frame, a single sheet, plain white. Archive stock. I'm moving closer. Under subject convergence. Under status complete. Under investigators 2 under node 47, marginal road. The hum stops, not fading, stopping. The way a machine stops when the task it was built to run has finished. I've been hearing that hum since my first recording in 47 Marginal Road. It has been present in every visit, every passage, every level of this building. It has been the sound of the system running, the archive active, the protocol ongoing, the network in operation. It has stopped. Hannah is reading the same sheet. I can hear her breathing in the silence where the hum used to be. The building above us, the stairwells, the hallways, the front room with its 12 catalog drawers, all of it has gone quiet in a way it has never been quiet in the entire time I've been investigating it. There is one more line on the sheet. Below the node notation, separated by a ruled line, in the same angular pressed hand as the investigator cards, the protocol card, the letter in the locked drawer. I'm reading it twice before I say it out loud. Next node, active location, the system resolved, the node closed, and the network is still running. It's bigger than one building. We already knew that. The map at the southern node, dozens of intersections, different symbols, different regions. Point 0 was one location in a system that covers, I don't know how far it covers. The map didn't have edges. We closed one node. There are others. I'm looking at the final line again. Next node, active. The archive didn't end when the protocol completed. It filed the completion, updated the record, and indicated the next location. The same way the system surfaced the protocol card when I asked for it. The same way the ledger appeared on the shelf when I was looking for evidence of Hannah. The archive gives you the next step when you finish the current one. We finished the current one. I want to record one final observation before I leave this room. The investigator in the chamber, 65 years inside the system. Record erased, presence retained, waiting at the threshold of a convergence they couldn't complete alone. They stepped back when we arrived. They yielded the protocol to us without a word. I've been thinking about what the archive does with records it considers closed. It removes the name, it keeps the dates, it keeps the slot. The frame stays on the wall with the name engraved in the brass, but the card is pulled. The record is closed, but the infrastructure remains. I don't know if that applies to investigators too. I don't know if closing the node means the passages below are simply closed, with whatever remains in them still remaining. The figure stepped back from the convergence, but they didn't leave the chamber. When Hannah and I walked into the Point 0 corridor, they were standing against the wall with the stillness of something that has been practicing stillness for 6 decades. The node has closed, the protocol completed, the archive filed the convergence. I don't know if the archive's resolution extends backwards. I don't know if completing the sequence here means the failed convergences, the erased records, the investigators who remained, get resolved too. Or if the system simply marks this node as done and moves forward, leaving what it left behind still behind. I should go back through the chamber and tell them. I don't know what I would tell them. The chamber is empty. Point 0 wasn't the end of the system. It was the beginning.